client today who contacted me, didn't tell me exactly why, and then I felt the information, reason why, had a loved one come through on the other side and was guiding me in trying to help today. Anyway, so what happened was this person has just moved into accommodation, and what had happened was their little dog had sort of escaped. She didn't understand. She was a bit sort of shaken up by everything that was going on around her. There's more of a complicated story around everything else, but I'm not going to go into it. But this particular day, she was very scared, and someone had come to the door, and I could see that. So today I worked sort of telepathically with the dog, did a bit remote viewing, looking in where she is, and sort of gave the information to the owner. So telepathically working with her, trying to work out where she was feeding me information backwards and forwards, and then also with Spirit on the other side, they were trying to help, also trying to find her for her owner. So talking to the owner, he was in his home, wasn't expecting this. We were just chatting, and I said, yeah, when she comes out, I'd confirmed all the details about her, gave him some information, so he knew that I'd actually locked on to his particular animal. And so I said, when she runs out, she runs through the door. I gave some information about the doorway and the outside of the home, and I said she turns right, and he said yes, she did, she turned right. And then I said she just ran down. I said, but she's making me feel there was like a red brick wall there, and he said yes, you're correct. Anyway, so she went through there and was running down the road, and then I sort of couldn't find her where she was for the moment, just like, oh. And what was making me aware of that, she was so extremely scared that she couldn't see where she had run past or what she had done. So that made sense why I wasn't getting a clearer picture of where she had run past. All I know is then when she did show me what she was showing me, I was made aware that there were cardboard boxes there, and I could smell the cardboard and that funny sort of sound of the cardboard box. So I was aware of that. And then also she showed me like the big blue sort of dumpster bins or something, and the bins with wheels as well. So it was like there was a lot of cardboard boxes, and it felt very industrial. And I said to him, industrial, and I said, well, wait a minute. And we were going through what she was showing me and stuff, and I said, but is it possible that you could just go out locally and go to where she's showing me? And it happened that he could. So also the other thing I need to mention is, this was what really was amazing today that I found with her. Clever little dog. I'd said to him, where exactly do you live? Not exactly, but an area roughly, so I can get an idea, a feel of this. Sometimes I don't need to do that, but for some reason I was asking that question. I couldn't understand why I wanted to ask that question. And then she had said to me, he doesn't live far from me. I was like, this is very strange. Because we didn't know where in the world either of us was going to be, and I have clients worldwide, so it could be anywhere in the world. And it happens that he's literally, if I drive my car, it would take me probably about 12 minutes to get to where he lives. It was really bizarre, but bizarre in a magical way, because she sort of knew where I lived and knew where he lives, sort of thing, but still couldn't find a way home. I know how it sounds, but anyway, so he told me where he lived, and I said, oh my God, I said, that's not far from me. I said, okay, can you leave your home, go out the door, head in the way that you'd normally walk her? And he'd only just moved into his property literally a couple of days ago. And I said, but I know that she's scent marked around there anyway, because she's been trying to smell the urine around there. And he said, oh yeah, no, we've taken her for a walk and everything. So I said, right, there's brambles there, there's a pathway, there's a grass verge. And I said, but she's scared because there is an area that she went into, and I said where she got into that area, there's all this concrete, and she's making me aware that she felt scared because she had to be careful because there's these vehicles around. I can hear the vehicles, the trucks and stuff. So when I said trucks, he said, oh, that must be the industrial bit. So anyway, he walked to the industrial area, and I said, if you go along the pathway a little bit more through the brambles, he said, no, she wouldn't have gone that way because we've never walked that way with her. She would get lost. And I went, bingo, that's why she's got lost. She's now gone that way on her own. So we went down that pathway, and I could feel the brambles, and it wasn't a pathway for humans. It was just like dirt track sort of thing with amongst the trees. And I said, also, she's showing me there was like this wooden bit, and there's some fencing, and there's a bit that you can go under. Now, of course, from her perspective, she obviously has seen all these from eye level and how tall, short she is, because she's a small little dog, of how things were. So actually, I got him on WhatsApp, and he was videoing the area, he said, oh God, yeah. He goes, look. And I said, yeah, the wooden slat, this is what she's showing me. She's gone under there and everything. And there was a hole, a gap in the fence. Because what was funny, he had tried to help me earlier, the man. He sort of, I said, if I was going to, because I was working telepathically with her, if I was going to tell her how to get back or show how to get back within my mind and sending the information to her, I need to work out. That's why I actually got him to walk around and have a look outside. Because initially he said, well, I live at this road and this road here. And I went, and then I can hear her saying, she was like this, I can't read street names. And I was like, of course you can't. So I said to him, no, we need to describe it as in going past a hedge or by a tree or by a fence or by a brick wall or by some smells. We need to do that for her so that she understands, which I understand he didn't understand, that's fine. Anyway, so that's why we went out in the first place to have a little look. So telepathically, I'm communicating with her. I've got a loved one from his in spirit is trying to guide and trying to help from their side as well. And so we're working on it all together. So in the end, there was a hole in the fencing and he got through into a industrial part. And I said, okay, and she was also showing me this big blue bins and there's some wheels there and there's some cardboard because I could feel it and everything. And then he turned and said, oh my God, yeah, look, there's that big blue, so there's a big blue container. And so the colours as well, for her to give me a colour, to see the exact blue as well that she'd sent to me. She showed me all this, everything that she's seen, you know, the cardboard boxes, I could hear the sounds of the cardboard boxes. And then as we're talking, I said, there's also a sound, she's making me aware that there's a sound, because I'm tuning into her saying like, whereabouts are you? And then she's making me aware of a sound nearby, because I said, is there any sounds, the smells, you know, what can you see? And there's a sound nearby, and I was like, couldn't make it out at first. I was like, is this running water? Is there a stream nearby? There's a loud sound, is this car going by? No, none of those really fitted. Then suddenly this train went by, and it was like the train sound. It was that had scared her before. So I knew he was on the right track. So we continued still to have a little look around. And then I said, there might be somebody working around. They said, you couldn't see anyone. I said, no. She said, there's like these men she's showing me. I knew they were men. She didn't know they were called men, but I knew they were men. And they're like that yellow visor on. So again, she gave me the description of what they were wearing. They were puffy yellow visors, like the coats and stuff. And then, yeah, he saw someone, went over and started talking to him and they'd seen her and they hadn't at that time. Anyway, so he's looking around and she's still giving me information. And then I said, I also, I could like taste it and feel something in my mouth. And it was this. It was the same thing. It's like this, I could feel like a rustling. So it's the rustling sound and the papery sort of sound and the feel of it. But then like there was something attached to it and I couldn't work out what it was. It was like green and sticky and stuck to the paper. And I said, it's almost like you know when you get a cheeseburger or something like from McDonald's or something. They said, oh yeah, there's a McDonald's there as well. I was like, well, she has been eating because I've got that and it's like in my mouth and I can feel it and taste it. So we knew that she'd been eating as well. So she was giving all this information for such a small dog. So clever, so much magic in that of her, you know, showing me where she was, and then I'm trying to show her how to get back, because if I know where she is, sometimes it's worked where I've had an animal that's gone missing and I can do the remote viewing and sort of imagine myself looking down at the street map, like the Google man that you have on the Google Maps, and you can place yourself there. And then I need to feel into the street, like if it's busy, if it's quiet, or if there's forests and trees. It doesn't always work, it does sometimes. And so, you know, all I can do is try. So yeah, I was working with her trying to find out where she was. Now, I knew at some point also someone may have picked her up because there's a blanket that goes around her because I can feel it warm, and I feel also that she was shivering at some point. So when the warm blanket goes on, I feel like they might have taken to a local vet's. So I said to him, I can hear like a bleep. So there might have been a chip in her neck, which she made me aware of as well. So all this information sort of comes together, and a lot of the time I do find the animals, and I can't say every single time, it doesn't always happen. But it was mainly about how exciting it was for me today to be working with this beautiful little dog. She knew where I lived, and somehow magically we sort of like got in contact. This guy, you know, he contacted me not directly through my website, but through another organisation. So he wouldn't know where in the world I was. So it was just so lovely how we communicated and how we got in touch. Anyway, she's okay. the trail has gone cold a little bit, so it just means it's like an adventure, the treasure map. Haven't quite found her yet, so I said to him I would tune into her and keep sending her the map, like to go past those bushes, to go up there, and some scent smells, because I know I can smell fox urine smell around her as well, and that's what she's scared of, the foxes. But and the stuff that she sent me, it could literally be that it happened yesterday or a couple of days ago, or it could be happening right now. We can't find her at this moment. He's still looking, he's gone out and he's looking for her now. But that's what happens sometimes with animals, and sometimes I've had this with cats, where they may be somewhere but they give you a whole story. I had one cat who went missing for 3 days, and he went through the whole dialogue of what he'd seen, and very lovely, thank you very much. But I said to him, if you don't meow right now, you're not going to be found tonight. And that was another story for another time anyway. But this particular story, we're still looking for her. So if you're living in North London and you come across a little dog, black and a tanny colour, not a Yorkshire Terrier but very similar in make, very scruffy, she's gorgeous, called Lulu, and she's missing, so just message me if you do come across her, because the owner is really desperately looking for her, and it'd be lovely just to match the two up. I just wanted to share it because I just think it's amazing how this works. Not me, the animals and spirit, and how everyone joins in energetically trying to communicate. So it's just a bird's eye view into my world of work.